that webinar. Hello and welcome everybody to our webinar today. We are excited that you've joined us. We've got a lot of great presenters that you are all going to really gain insight from. We're excited to feature Phi Theta Kappa International Honor Society, both current student and I guess Phi Theta Kappa alum, as well as featuring membership and scholarships for this organization. So we're excited that you've joined us today. There's just a little bit of housekeeping that we wanted to remind you. As you may have joined us before, but if not, this is our Topic Tuesday webinar series hosted by Get to College. During the presentation, feel free to use the chat bot, communicate directly with the panelists. And if you have questions, you'll see that at the bottom, the Q&A box. This is where you can ask those questions throughout any point in the presentation, and our panelists will be monitoring that. We will have a formal Q&A session at the end, but feel free, if there's a topic that you hear about, to drop that in that Q&A box. Although we cannot see and hear you, we see your names, we know that you're there, and we're excited to present this information to you today. So get the juices flowing. As always, we've got a fun intro poll activity. So the intro poll for everyone to engage in this space is the question: Phi Theta Kappa has a presence on how many community college campuses? So I'm going to launch that poll for everybody. You'll see it pop up on the screen as our friends are joining us today. And if you'll put your answer in there, the question is: Phi Theta Kappa has a presence on how many community college campuses? One choice, options 1,600, 2,200, 1,300, or 3,100. So as you're joining us today, just a reminder, we can't see and hear you, but we know that you're here. We see your names and we want to engage with you. And one of the ways that we're doing this intro poll to get kind of a precursor to what we're going to talk about in the webinar today. Also, if you need to chat directly with the panelists, you can use that feature at the bottom of your screen and the Q&A feature to ask those questions. Give everybody just a few more seconds to get your answer in. About 10 more seconds, and then we'll end the poll and launch that answer. So if you're joining us, you see a poll in front of you. The question is: Phi Theta Kappa has a presence on how many community college campuses? All right, so we had the majority say 2,200, but the answer is actually a little over 1,300. So there's a wide international presence for Phi Theta Kappa on community college campuses. And so that's what we're going to learn all about today, is the organization and the benefits for membership, and hear from a member of Ptk. So I will hand it over to Shannon to get our introductions and get us ready to start the presentation.
All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the webinar. I am Shannon Grimsley, the Director of State Outreach for the Woodward Hines Education Foundation and the Get to College program. We are recording today's session, and we will send a link to anyone who is registered. For those watching the recording, today's date is December 7th, 2021, and the material in this webinar is current through the 21-22 school year. In today's session, Phi Theta Kappa International Honor Society, you will hear from staff members at Phi Theta Kappa and a current college student who is a member of Phi Theta Kappa. They will be helping us learn more about Phi Theta Kappa and the benefits of membership and scholarships for community college students. I will now share a little background and Get to College and a few logistics about the webinar before we get started. Get to College is a nonprofit program of the Woodward Hines Education Foundation. We have 3 centers in Mississippi, one here in Jackson, one in Ocean Springs, and one in South Haven. And we help parents, students, and high school counselors with all aspects of college planning and financial aid. And all of our services are free. In our centers, we offer personalized college counseling appointments where we can help students know when to apply for admission and scholarship, help fill out their FAFSA, which is the free application for federal student aid, or advise on essay writing and interviewing. During the webinar, we cannot see or hear you, but we ask that you can ask questions through the instant messenger at any time or the Q&A box. My co-presenter, Kirsten, will be monitoring and replying to Q&A today, and we will have time for live Q&A at the end with the presenters. I would now like to introduce our speakers for the day. First of all, we have Jacob Brogan. He is a current political science major and junior at the University of Southern Mississippi. He earned his associate's degree at Pearl River Community College, where he was involved in Phi Theta Kappa and the Honors College. In Phi Theta Kappa, he served as the chapter president and regional officer for the Mississippi-Louisiana region. Through PTK, he was able to be a part of the Get to College Corps and help students throughout the state with their federal and state aid applications. Jacob is currently a member of the Sigma Alpha Epsilon fraternity and serves on the Interfraternity Council at Southern Miss. After college, Jacob plans to get his master's in economic development and get to work helping develop strong communities in Mississippi. So welcome, Jacob. Next, we will have Candace Johnson. Candace is new to Phi Theta Kappa and is serving as the Director of Membership. Candace has a background in higher education where she worked with both 4-year and 2-year institutions. And finally, we will hear from Heather Johnson. Heather is currently the Senior Director of Scholarships at Phi Theta Kappa and has been with PTK for over 15 years. She also has almost 25 years of experience in higher education, working with college admissions, development, and in the registrar's office. We are so grateful to have all three of you today. And now I'm going to turn the presentation first over to you, Jacob.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much, my family at Get to College, for allowing me to come present today. Can everybody see my screen all right? Awesome. So I'm a current college student. I'm the young guy in the crowd, and I just wanted to kind of talk to you guys about just a perspective from a former high school student and a current college student. So when I was in high school, I didn't really think college was a real thing. You heard about going to college, and you just kind of apply and you just kind of do your federal aid, and you don't really think it's real until that first day. You're looking for your classes, you're overwhelmed. But especially about community college. Now, when I was in high school, I had this stigma about community college that I found that a lot of people have, especially students, that it wasn't a real college or anything like that. And I found out that that wasn't the case at all. And sadly, I didn't even hear about Phi Theta Kappa at any of my time in high school. But the day I got there, my my admissions advisor was like, "You need to be in PTK." And I was like, "What is that? I don't want to do a fraternity. I don't want to do a sorority." And they're like, "No. It is an honor society." And as they began to explain it to me and all the benefits, I was like, "That sounds really cool. I want to do it." And now, as a university student, I hear so many people who said, "I really wish I would have gone to a community college, really wish I would have gotten involved in PTK," because statistically, those students have a lot higher success rate than someone just going into a university, even someone who's just going into a community college. So I really wish in high school, first and foremost, that they would have made community college sound like an option more than the last resort. Let me move on to my next slide. So let's talk about PTK a little bit. There's 4 principles of PTK, and I remember my first meeting as an active member. I was in a room with about 20 people, and what was crazy was it was like they were all we were all a family instantly after the first meeting. Our advisors did such a good job of doing these leadership building exercises to get us all comfortable with each other within this first couple of meetings and really start to develop that bond for us to be able to go and do the things that PTK lays the foundation for. So the first principle is fellowship. And so I saw that firsthand. We did these team building exercises, leadership, work on leadership development. We do write-ups, self-analysis of where our leadership is at. And at the end of the semester, we will review that, where we've grown. Scholarship, PTK. I don't even know the dollar amount. I'm sure Heather and Candace will go over that later, but it's insane. The cool thing about the scholarship portion When you're a PTK student, in my experience, you don't shop for colleges to transfer. Colleges shop for you. And I would get so many emails being like, hey, we know you're a PTK student. We have a bunch of money we want to give you to come here. And I was like, okay, I've never heard of this college, but that's awesome. And then service. And you hear about volunteerism, you hear about service, but you kind of think, where do I start? You know, do I have to go to a soup kitchen? What are opportunities available to me? And PTK really gave us the option to find a problem in our community, find somewhere that we can do better, and then build a plan to fix that, you know, a solution for that. And then a quote from Gandhi here: the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in service of others. And that is one of the core truths that I learned in PTK. And then I'll go back to that in a minute. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the career development and development opportunities that PTK gave to me. So what's cool is in PTK, you have kind of two paths. You have HIA and College Project. Those are our two big groups. And so HIA is Honors in Action. Both of these groups have a research field, HIA being focused more on you know, any national research topics, and College Project looking more at the community. What can we do for our community college to fix it? And so what's cool about these research projects is our PTK advisors weren't just like, here's some things to do, here's what you need to do. They gave us full autonomy to handle this. And as many of you know, as high school educators, college educators, our generation, my generation, wants to find the truth. You know, have instant access to everything around us, the good, the bad, the ugly, and we want to fix it. We just have this desire to want to make the world a better place all the time. And so being able to have that autonomy, being able to find that problem ourselves with our PTK advisors, just monitoring our leadership development, is such an asset in developing a student into a leader. And one of the big ways that PTK does it is through Ptk Edge. Now, these are exclusive courses that PTK has that develops, that aids in career development, leadership development, scholarship building, and just so many cool tidbits of information and courses that help you get ready to transfer to college, get ready for a job, and things like that. And, you know, it comes with your membership. It's like crazy. You thought you'd have to pay extra? No, it's awesome. Community outreach is something. You learn how to go to businesses and be like, hey, we're doing this really cool thing and we'd love for you to help. You know, let's do a profit share. Let's do these things. You get these like social skills that you're like, hey, I'm 18, 19 in a community college. Like, I'm talking to these people like I'm actually, you know, running something. And it kind of builds this sense of confidence that a lot of other students your age might not have. And PTK just gives you that opportunity to like get involved with the community, give speeches to help people in front of people to like portray a point, portray your mission. Another thing is resume building. You can see my cool resume here. I have to update it. But we learn how to make these creative resumes in Phi Theta Kappa. And I've gotten great, you know, reviews from it. I like it. It's cool. And I'm like a marketing guy. So I'm just like, oh, it's nice. It's pretty. And then project management, I've kind of talked a little bit about that. But a couple of the projects we did was we did a literacy drive. So we went to local schools. We said, you know, second and third grade classes, we said, you know, we know a lot of these schools are underfunded. A lot of these elementary schools don't have these students don't have the opportunity to have books that might be fun for them to read. So could we get, you know, a general understanding of what these students want to read? We were able to raise money, get these students books that they wanted to read, and we actually got to bring it to them. We had little goodie bags with it. And, you know, over the course of a couple months, we were able to develop that, implement it, and then execute the plan all ourselves. And that's just some invaluable experience that we got there. We also did a community garden on our campus and a large scale community garden that's currently I think they've got the dozers out there right now. I mean, that was a year and a half ago that we planned that, and it's still going. That entire PTK class that did that has graduated, but the next one is just continuing with it. And then we did a mental health symposium, and we had a puppy day where we had the local SPCA come and bring all the puppies, and that actually resulted in a lot of adoptions. So we got to help the community with that. And, you know, college students that what college students don't want to hang out with puppies. So it's cool stuff like that. We got to think outside the box and find a solution to the problem in our communities and fellow students. But one of the biggest bold points I think PTK did for me mentally was it made me think of myself as an asset to organizations, future employers, anything I was a part of. I wasn't just thinking, okay, well, I hope I get this job I'm applying for, or I hope I get in this club. I was like, how can I build upon, how can I support and grow this club or job that I want to be a part of? And delegation, I was the chapter president. So I couldn't do everything. I'm a very big picture guy. Sometimes small details kind of freaked me out. And I was able to, fix the small details problem, because leadership, you need to be well-rounded, but also learn how to delegate. Like, hey, I need you to do this. And then us keep each other accountable, them making sure I'm a good president, me helping them grow to their level of leadership. But what set us up for success was we started small. You know how I talked about earlier is how we can see all the problems going on in the world through the internet. It makes us kind of disheartened, because we're like, man, I wish we could go fix this. I wish we could stop the hurt and the pain happening around the world. But in a speech I gave, I realized that PTK set us up for success by starting small. And PTK instilled in us that if we can start with our community, then maybe we can change our state. And if we can change our state, then we can change our nation. And then if we can change our nation, we can change the world. And that's what PTK instilled in us. So that's all I have. And thank you so much for letting me talk. And if y'all have any questions later on, I'll be happy to answer.
Thank you, Jacob. What we're going to do now is hand it over to our staff members from Phi Theta Kappa to give us an overview on what membership benefits and looks like, and scholarships that Jacob so well articulated was his experience. Now you can learn how you can share it with all of your students that you may work with in the high schools.
Thank you so much, Jacob. You did such an amazing job. You made my work a lot easier, so I really appreciate that. Great overview about organization, but really just the membership experience. And I think that's very indicative of who we are as an organization. So this will be fast. I don't have a lot to share. My part is really just talking to you all, letting you all know who we are as an organization, but also how you can help others, help your students to understand what are the benefits of being a PTK member, and giving you a little bit of background information about our wonderful organization. So who we are is really simple. We can go to our next slide and talk more about our mission. Jacob referenced our 4 hallmarks, and that really drives everything we do as an organization. And our mission is really wrapped up in that. So the heart of our mission is really just to recognize and to celebrate students for their hard work. That's what we aim to do. And in our recognition and in celebrating those students, we really try to create experience and opportunities for them to grow, not only as individuals, but to grow academically as well, to grow in so many ways, and to really create a wraparound experience for our members. And so when talking to students about Phi Theta Kappa, just to give you a little bit of information, we are an international honor society. We do have roughly 1,300 chapters. That was a poll that you all had earlier. So kudos to you. I believe 22% that got that correct. We have roughly 1,300 chapters, and we're in 10 different nations. So we are an international honor society. Outside of the US, we have chapters in other nations such as, Germany or Jamaica or the Philippines. So we do have chapters around the world, but our mission remains the same. The opportunities and the benefits that our members have access to, those things are never changing. And we are the only and the official International Honor Society with the American Association for Community College. It's the AACC, and we have an A+ rating by the Better Business Bureau. So we are an official organization. We do have accreditation, and that's something that as an International Honor Society, sometimes you have to explain, and it's really beneficial for students to know that we're real people, we're a real organization. So that's one thing I wanted to share with you all. And then just looking at our organization by the numbers as well. We have roughly 3.5 members when you look at the 103 years that we've been in existence. So as of November 19th of last month, we were officially 103 years old. So talk about affinity and longevity. And I think that really contributes to how we're able to serve our members, because we continue to evolve as the people that we serve continue to change and have various needs. But we really do aim to serve our students and create the best possible experience that we can for them. And then a little bit about the membership process. So it's really simple. Students that are eligible for membership, they have to have had at least 12 hours of enrollment at a community college, whether they are seeking a certificate, or a professional program, an associate's degree, or for you all, for most of you, they may be dual enrolled students. So that's fine. If they have at least 12 credit hours and meet the GPA requirements of the affiliated chapters, then they can be eligible for membership with Phi Theta Kappa. And from there, the acceptance process is really simple. They get an email or letter invitation from Phi Theta Kappa with the special code. They can go to our join website and enter that special code, and from there, complete the join process of where they would pay whatever membership fee is associated with them joining. And all of that is laid out in the invitation for them. But after they take those 3 steps, from there, they get an amazing membership packet. So in their packet, they'll have their official certificate, of course, with their name on it. Our golden key membership pin. I didn't wear it today. I don't have it on. Typically, I wear it, but it's a really nice lapel pin, as well as a free tassel and a welcome card, just welcoming them to our organization. And from there, they'll have access to the benefits, the amazing benefits, as Jacob kind of highlighted, and we'll talk a little bit more about some of those later. But those are the things that they get within their first couple of weeks of being a member of Phi Theta Kappa after they've decided to take the step. There's no greater investment. It's a small investment for a lifetime of benefits and membership. So it's a small cost, but you get so much more in return. Okay, we can go on to our next slide. Thank you. All right, so Ptk by the numbers. Just to give you all an idea, about 68% of our members are female. The average age of our members is actually 28 years old. So you can see we do have quite a few non-traditional students that are members. And then we do have a large population of our younger students as well that are members and accepting the invitation. But I love that the average age is roughly 28, because it really shows that we have something to offer for everyone, whether you are 18, 17, or 71. We do have, our benefits can really help all of our members or anyone that's interested and eligible for membership in our organization. The average GPA for our members is a 3.6. And just to put that into perspective, the average national GPA is around a 3.1. So we really see that we have the cream of the crop when it comes to our members, but they're really working hard. So they deserve to be celebrated and given as much as they can from our organization. And then about 91% of our members do complete community college or transfer. So we can see that we have a very high attrition, but as members, with the resources that they're given, such as the EDGE programs and all of the guidance, with whether it's you all as counselors or whether it's their chapter advisors or the network that they have access to within Phi Theta Kappa, the attrition rate is outstanding at 91%. And then about 54% receive additional financial aid outside of the scholarships that they may get for Phi Theta Kappa. And then 68% of them continue on to get a bachelor's degree or higher. And looking at the mid-level salary range is about $71,000, which is an amazing salary, but that's mid-level. So when you look at typically job choice or career progression, mid-level is you have that any job and then probably that second job when you're really starting to build a career. That's the median salary for about that area for our Phi Theta Kappa members, definitely higher than the average salary for an individual. And then most of our members earn at least 2 degrees. So whether that's their associates and bachelors and masters or associates. And we do have a large population that are doing the certificate or professional programs and training as well. Okay, thank you. We can continue on. Now, we have so many opportunities for involvement. Our members can get involved on a local level, as Jacob did. Jacob got involved on a local level, but also on the regional level as well. Like Jacob expressed that he was a regional officer. So, but you also have the international level, which is the pinnacle for a lot of our members. And this slide here highlights our international officers for the 2021 and 2022 year with Phi Theta Kappa. And so these individuals are absolutely amazing. They embody all that our organization is, and they really represent the organization well and serve as the voice for our members throughout the time that they're in office. So I wanted to highlight these 5 individuals here just to show you that, you know, our members are really at the forefront of what we do and who we are, and they are out and they are serving as a voice for our organization. Okay, thank you. All right, so let's talk about some benefits. Now, we know, of course, I think more than free money, just money in general is probably one of the main things that appeals to members. And so the reason our individuals are enrolled in college courses is because they want to better themselves and eventually they want to have a career. And so one of our main benefits is to really help them get hired, help them to be marketable, but also we have partners with corporations, various industries where businesses can have access to our members. So based on job opportunities or internships that they may have available, they can access our members and kind of filter through members that have profiles that match their needs and select those members for potential candidates. So again, this is a benefit because this isn't, you know, our members or maybe individuals that aren't PTK members won't be as accessible for employers. So these relationships already exist, and this is a benefit that our members have, and it's not something additional that they have to pay for, but because they've worked on enhancing their professional skills, their leadership skills, their service skills, academically, all of those things, they are so much more marketable. So we do want employers to be able to have access to our members. And so that's how Ptk Connect came about, and it's an amazing project. And so far, employers have had really good success with having access to our members. Okay. Next is transfer. We do have Ptk Connect for transfer. So this is really individuals that are looking to map out their career pathway, and they need a little bit of assistance and really need some help connecting the dots, whether it's the four-year institutions or looking at their career pathway. That's where this transfer Connect comes in at. And it's another, we also have Transfer Edge, which coincides with Transfer Connect to really just help them kind of figure out, okay, what's the next step and what does the step after that step look like? Okay. And I mentioned our Edge programs a little earlier. So these are our self-paced courses that we offer. And with Phi Theta Kappa, it's really a build your own experience. You can be involved as you want to be. You're not required to even attend chapter meetings. You can really create an experience for your lifestyle, but one advantage is our Edge courses. So they're self-paced. So whenever you have time, you can work through these online modules or these self-paced courses so that you can earn, it's a digital badge that you receive once you complete these courses. And they really do help. They're great resume builders. Employers pay attention to these digital badges, as well as four-year institutions as well if you're looking to transfer. So the 5 courses that we have now, we have Healthcare Edge is really for individuals that are looking to hone in their soft skills for healthcare majors or know just what that arena may look like for them. Then we have Competitive Edge, just as looking at your other soft skills such as communication, team building, all of those different things. And then Transfer Edge for individuals that are wanting to transfer to a four-year institution. But we know not every student wants to transfer to a four-year institution. So we also have Employment Edge. And these are for individuals that are just looking to get a job. They're ready for employment. Maybe they did a certificate program with the 2-year college, or maybe they did a dual program at a high school where they now have some kind of certification. Once they've graduated high school, they can take advantage of Employment Edge so that they can get hired. And then our Research Edge. These are really for the scholars, those that are looking to grow and maybe progress to master's, research, writing papers. Those individuals can take advantage of sharpening those research skills. Okay. All right, and I went over this, so because of time, we can skip this one and the next slide. Okay, and other opportunities, individuals can get published. So Jacob did highlight Honors in Action, our college project. So those opportunities often leads to our members getting published. And so these are just some examples here, and those are some benefits that they have with being members and being actively involved in some of the opportunities. Okay. All right, Ptk Catalyst 2022. So this is really exciting. I get a chance to attend our first Catalyst. Well, actually my second one, first one in person. We had virtual this year, but Catalyst, this is our conference. This is our annual conference that we have for all of our members. This is a chance for all members to come together, really engage in academic and educational forums, various forums about best practices, and again, be celebrated. This is also times where they get recognition and awards for the things that they've done, and they get a chance to associate with all members from all over the world. So we're really excited that next year it's in Denver, Colorado. And typically it's hosted at, various sites each year. So we'll have it next year. It's in Denver. Of course, it was virtual this year. And then in some of the previous years, they've been in Florida and other locations, but it really is an amazing time for members to come together. Okay. All right, so we always encourage students, members, or anyone that has interest in Phi Theta Kappa. If you want to learn more, if you really want to get a glimpse of what life is like as a Ptk member, what are the benefits, stay connected. We are on Facebook, we are on Twitter, we are on Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. We have a station there, but you can connect with us on any of those platforms at Phi Theta Kappa. So just follow us there so that you can really see real life examples like Jacob's examples, or even when you have advisors that are actively participating in Phi Theta Kappa and highlighting some of the wonderful things that they're doing. This is just a way to get plugged into the organization. We also have ptk.org/news, and I'm a membership. They mentioned earlier, I'm the director of membership. Shannon mentioned that. So you can call membership if you have questions about joining, or how do you help a student, or what do you tell them? You can always give us a call. Membership services, it's 1-800-946-9995, or email us at help@ptk.org just to ask us questions. And I think the last few benefits that I would like to highlight would probably be some of the small things. Sometimes it may be hard as counselors or ones that may not be as familiar with the organization to really express different benefits to students. But sometimes the small things help. We have partnerships with corporate sponsors as well, like Geico or car rental places. So if you're looking to rent a vehicle, Enterprise, or Bank of America or Lenovo, and those where you can get a discount on computers. So those small things really do appeal to students, but just letting them know, hey, we're really trying to work to alleviate as many barriers as we can, however we can. We had one member recently that shared an experience. She joined last month, and so we were meeting, and she said, hey, y'all, guess what? I'm now saving $80 a month on my car insurance. So it's really just those small practical things that can still appeal to students. And when you look at the cost of membership, she's already, like I said, a small investment is what she made for a lifetime of benefits. So even outside of those small things, we do have, of course, our scholarships. We have our leadership opportunities, our service opportunities. I mean, we really are family, but you do have so many different benefits and things that you can share with new members, prospective members, or anyone that may come to you and express interest. So thank you all for what you do. And that's all that I have. So if you all have any questions later, feel free to let me know. Okay, Heather.
Well, thank you, Candace. So I'm going to take a moment and talk a little bit about Phi Theta Kappa scholarships. This is the #1 reason why students join Phi Theta Kappa. So we support a variety of scholarship opportunities for Phi Theta Kappa members, and we seek to support students through the transition to either a four-year college, or if they are a certificate or associate program that they want to go directly into the workforce. So we have a variety of scholarships to offer them opportunities. So while not all of our members will receive a scholarship, our goal is to really get them to know about what opportunities are available to them so that they can really position themselves best to be competitive. So we administer 25 scholarship programs on a one year-round application. So the application has 2 deadlines. December 1st is for our fall application. Those programs are typically for students who are finishing up at their 2-year college and then will transfer on to go to a 4-year school or enter the workforce the next year. And then we also have a May 1st spring deadline, and that is for spring programs that are typically for students who will continue their associate degree, and they can use those scholarships while they're still at the community college. The programs are competitive. As you see, we get about 20,000 applications. We recognize about 600 scholars every year. And individually, Phi Theta Kappa administers about $1 million in scholarships. A few things just kind of to remember about Phi Theta Kappa scholarships is that all of our scholarships have a purpose. So not all members will qualify for all of our scholarships. For example, there are some that will be for students who are continuing an associate degree, some for students who will go to the 4-year college, some for students who are healthcare majors or nursing majors. There are some for students who want to go into other different types of like leadership qualities or go into different types of programs after their associate degree is complete. So Phi Theta Kappa scholarships are not automatic. We do pay the scholarship funds directly to the student, not to the college. And we do that because, after Hurricane Katrina, we found that of our students, their #1 cost of keeping them in college was related to gas money. So if our students couldn't go to college, they couldn't complete degrees. And so if they didn't have money just to get to school, they couldn't complete. And so for us, it's more important for our students to get the scholarships so that they can fund the things that are the barriers to their success. And so as a result, as long as the students know that if they use it for something other than educational expenses, they may have to declare it for taxes. But other than that, we really want to put the money into the hands of the students. So we have 2 different types of scholarships. And so the scholarships that we have are, first of all, the ones that we fund and or administer. So we administer some of our own scholarships as well as scholarships for other organizations. And then we also have, Candace briefly mentioned Ptk Connect. We have several colleges and universities that offer scholarships directly to our Ptk members. And we'll talk about those in a little bit. So these are some of the competitive scholarships that we administer. So for example, we have the All USA program that is sponsored by Cengage. We administer hundreds of scholarships for the Coca-Cola Scholars Foundation. We have, thanks to to get to college, we help with their get to college scholarships. So we have a variety of exclusive PTK scholarships that are on our standalone application via our website. These are the funds that we give directly to the students, and they can use for costs that they see fit. We also encourage students to look for other opportunities. So for example, we have our Ptk Connect that helps match them to four-year colleges and lists all sorts of different kinds of four-year scholarships that are either available at the college to transfer students or also exclusive to Ptk members should they choose to transfer to their university. We promote the Jack Kent Cooke Foundation Scholarship. Their undergraduate transfer scholarship is a very good fit for our Phi Theta Kappa members. Over time, over 87% of Phi Theta Kappa members have, 87% of Jack Kent Cooke scholars have also been Ptk members. We also encourage students to apply for Fulbright scholarships and the Jeanette Rankin Women's Scholarship Fund. That scholarship is really interesting because it's specifically for women over age 35. So as you can see, we offer a variety of scholarships. As we know, community college students aren't a one size fits all. So we have scholarships for students who are coming in right out of high school or dual enrolled students. And we also have scholarships for people who are coming back as non-traditional students. So this is a little bit of a look of like the ones that we offer on the fall scholarship. So as you can see, we have some scholarships that are what we call nomination based. These are ones where the student submits an application and their college selects from the applications which ones to submit for consideration. We also have some fall scholarships that do not require nomination. Applications for fall, again, like I said, are due December 1st. We have some that are specific for four-year colleges. Our TEK scholarship can be used for two-year or four-year. We have the Obendorf scholarship, which is for students who are struggling and need emergency funds. And then we also have some regional scholarships that are specific to areas. For example, the two that we have are like TVA has a Mississippi only scholarship, Calhoun has a South Carolina scholarship, and we work with our regional chapters and such to help them with their scholarships as well. In the spring, so our deadline is typically in May for that one, and it will reopen again this spring. But we have several different programs that are for students who are currently in the community college. We have programs that are regional. We have some that are for specific majors. So our IPSLI public safety programs are for things like criminal justice, fire science, fire technology, EMTs, public safety, all of those kinds of scholarships, police science. We have workforce scholarships that are for students who will be going directly into the workforce. And then our Leaders of Promise program is really kind of an overall program for students who are showing leadership and will be continuing their associate degree studies. And then we have some scholarships that we administer that are not directly related to or not directly on our year-round scholarship, simply because these have very specific requirements. So we have scholarships that we offer through Walgreens and Hearst. Walgreens is looking for pharmacy tech students, and they also, this is where we were talking about the Ptk Connect for Business. Walgreens is very interested in expanding promotion of pharmacy tech as a career for students. And so it's our way to connect students into considering that as a career. And then once they've started attending school for pharmacy tech programs, offering them scholarships to help them pay for the certifications that they need to complete those. Our Geico is, we have a master's degree program. It's our only scholarship that is for our alumni who have gone on and completed both associate and bachelor's degrees and are now looking for some funding to help them pay for their master's program. And then we also have our Study Buddy Tease Prep, which is for helping to pay for costs associated with nursing study guides. And then Candace mentioned external scholarships. We have over 850 colleges and universities that offer transfer scholarships specifically for our Ptk members. So they have basically taken some of their funds and they have set them aside and said, these are only available for to help us recruit Ptk members to come to our school. And so we have a database, this Ptk Connect, where students can go in, they can search for schools, they can search for scholarships, and then the scholarships have all of the information listed on who they would need to contact, like the admissions contact, when the deadlines would be, so that while Phi Theta Kappa does not administer these scholarships, we are looking for those opportunities to help our students be successful to transfer. So we have Ron and Heather here at this picture. We have 2 staff members who work specifically with four-year colleges to help encourage opportunities for our members. And then finally, we have transfer preparation. So the both Ptk Connect helps students identify schools that will be good transfer fits and scholarships. And then the Ptk Edge walks them through the things that they need to know to help prepare them for transfer. You know, where do I start? How do I identify my dream reach and safety schools? How do I look into financial aid? All of the things that they need to know to be successful for going on to a four-year school. And then finally, the scholarships team is more than happy to help answer any questions. We do have some scholarships that are for students before they even become Ptk students. So, or I'm sorry, we have scholarships for students who are not Ptk members. So we field both scholarship questions for Ptk members and for non-members. So if people have questions, feel free to send them to our phone number and our email address listed there. We also have a support library that offers all sorts of information about how to prepare for scholarships, writing scholarships. We have webinars that we've saved there. It's basically anything that students might need to help them prepare for writing a scholarship application. And with that, I will stop sharing my screen and turn it back over to Kirsten.
Well, we appreciate the presentation from all 3 of you all. I know that our participants really hopefully gained a lot of insight. We did get some feedback that Jacob, your testimonial, if you will, of your experience at Phi Theta Kappa has been very inspiring. And we think it's very, very important not just to hear what benefits your students can gain, maybe potentially while in high school as a Ptk member, but also in that transfer support process, as we've heard about from the presentation. So if anyone has any questions, please put those in the Q&A and we will give our presenters a few moments. I do have a question that we often get that it hasn't come through, but I know at Get to College, we get this a lot. Talk a little bit about, maybe Candace, this is for you since it's membership. If the audience has students who currently are enrolled in 12 hours in community college while in high school, is Phi Theta Kappa an option for them before they graduate high school? Do they have to be only at a community college? And kind of what benefits those look like and how maybe do those transfer scholarships work for them?
Okay, great. Thank you. I can answer the first part of that, and then I'll let Heather answer the second half about scholarships. So yes, if they're in high school and if they're enrolled in 12 hours, they have to have had completed 12 hours of coursework. So we do have some juniors and some seniors that have completed 12 hours and they meet the GPA requirement. So typically they would have to reach out if they haven't received an invitation, reach out with a chapter advisor that's affiliated with the college that they are taking courses with. And if they don't know if there's a chapter at the college that they're associated with, then they could go to ptk.org/advisor search and search for that college to see if there is a chapter there and the advisor contact information. So yes, they can become a member if they've completed 12 hours and meet the GPA requirements. Sometimes maybe the advisor hasn't uploaded what we call an eligible student list. So maybe they meet the requirements, they have been enrolled 12 hours, but the advisor just hadn't got to that point to where they're able to upload that eligible student list yet. And again, they would just need to reach out to that advisor and say, hey, or the counselor can do it, either or, the student or the counselor, and say, hey, I have a student that's eligible for membership. They meet all of the requirements. I know you all have a Phi Theta Kappa chapter. It's a tongue twister. Phi Theta Kappa chapter. So I would like to know what we need to do in order for them to obtain membership or receive an invitation. So yeah, that's pretty much it on the membership side.
Yeah, and I'm happy to talk a little bit about scholarships for that. So dual enrolled students, I think the one misperception that a lot of them have is that they can't apply for scholarships while they're at the high school. But since they're earning typically their associate degree at the same time, we consider them to be community college enrolled, the same as we would a student who's not dual enrolled. So as long as they meet the minimum criteria for the scholarship. Now we do have an eligibility quiz that the student would take. But you know, if they have 12 semester credits at the community college and they have a 3.5 or higher, they can apply for our scholarships. And in fact, we have had students who will win at age 15, 16, 17. I mean, that's not necessarily uncommon. I mean, it's very common for us, for example, our Leaders of Promise scholarship to have an age range that goes, our winners from 15 to 70. So I think the problem that a lot of students think is that they can't get a scholarship until they actually are done with high school. And at that point, it's too late, because if they've received their associate degree, our scholarships require that you apply while you're currently enrolled in community college. The other thing that could be a little bit tricky for them is if they complete their associate degree and then they transfer, they may or may not be able to get the scholarships at the four-year college. It would just depend on what the four-year college requirements are. Mostly because some of them are going to potentially require that even though they may come in technically with credits that would put them at junior status, they're going to consider them a freshman for purposes of living on campus and things like that. And so the student would really need to use PTK Connect and find those scholarships in the colleges they're interested and reach out and do the homework early to find out if they could qualify for those transfer scholarships. So again, that would be where if you have dual enroll students and they become a PTK member, have them reach out to scholarships or membership, and we'll work with them closely to make sure they don't miss those opportunities.
Great, thank you. So that was kind of a question that came in through the chat as well. So we covered that for the participant. Jacob, I've got a quick question for you, and then we'll wrap up with one for Candace. So Jacob, we've got a question. What type of scholarship package did you receive when you transferred as a PTK member to Southern Miss? And then also we'll wrap up, Candace, touch on if there a lot of our students in Mississippi have financial need. We know that from high FAFSA completion rates and things like that. And so if you could touch on, for those members who maybe that fee to join is steep, what alternatives are there for them and what that price point is, just to make sure that our participants are aware of that.
Yeah, so every college is kind of different. There were some colleges I could have gone to that would have like given me so much money, and it just depends on the cost of attendance. But specifically for USM, I got a scholarship just for being in PTK, not even the fact that I was an officer or anything like that, and that covered about 80% of the tuition. Then I got an additional scholarship for being an officer. I got another scholarship for being a regional officer, and that right there covered tuition and gave me a little extra money for books. And then additionally, for being in PTK, there are leadership scholarships that maybe fall under the foundation part of the university that they prefer, where they will award those preferring transfer or PTK students. And so all in all, about after all these leadership scholarships, probably about $4 or $5 grand over tuition. And I don't live on campus. So a lot of PTK students, they actually get cash back for going to college. And that was the situation with me. Whereas if I would have gone as a freshman, I had a 25 on the ACT, probably would have had to pay a good bit of money out of pocket. And but now luckily I'm in a good situation where I get paid to go to college thanks to PTK. So that's a little bit of my situation.
Okay, and I can go next. Jacob, I think that's everybody's goal. We all want to get paid to go to college. Okay, so for me, I know that there is some financial need for a large population of our students in Mississippi. And actually, in partnership with Woodward Hines, so thank you all for that, one of our largest funding opportunities or scholarship opportunities is Mississippi Golden Opportunity Scholarship. We actually, so this is the final year of Mississippi Golden Opportunity Scholarship, but it will go into 2022. So we are excited about that. So with Mississippi Golden Opportunity Scholarship, the international fee, which is a $60 international fee, is covered. So that does alleviate some financial barrier that our students in Mississippi may have when joining. Now there is an allotted amount set aside each year for MSGOS, but it is available for our students in Mississippi. And so all they would have to do is talk to their chapter advisor in the state of Mississippi, only in the state of Mississippi, and just let them know that, hey, I am having some financial hardship. The advisor can reach out to the membership team, or they can contact us directly. We can work with their chapter to see if we can designate some funds for MSGOS for those specific students. It's been absolutely outstanding. As a result, roughly every year we have over $2,000 available to cover the international fee for students in the state of Mississippi. And it really is designed to target underserved populations and populations that are in need of financial assistance. And so that's the largest pool. And the next option is some advisors do offer discounts, if you would. Depending on the chapters, there are times where chapter fees may be waived or local fees may be waived. And sometimes in congruence with MSGOS, some chapters will waive their local fee, or our regional person, our regional coordinator, will waive the regional fee so that those MSGOS participants don't have to pay anything. So just differing situations. It depends on the time of year and where we are. But those are some different options available for our students in Mississippi that may have some financial hardship and need some assistance.
Well, thank you, three, for your presentation. And if there's any questions last minute, feel free to drop those. I will hand it back over to Shannon to kind of wrap up. Shannon, we did have a question asking about how participants will receive credit for today and any other webinars that they've attended. So we'll know that you'll wrap up with that.
Absolutely. So thank you, first of all, Heather, Candace, Jacob. We really appreciate your time today. Really great, informative presentation. So this is our last presentation of the fall semester. We will continue our spring topic Tuesday sessions in January of 22. You can see those spring topics listed here, and that information is on our website as well. And you can go ahead and get registered for those webinars as soon as you're ready to do so. They are listed under the Educator tab, and then choose Professional Development. And while you're there registering, please check out all of our other resource opportunities for you and your students listed under this Educator tab. If you have participated in all 5 webinars from this fall, you can apply for 0.5 CEUs. And then if you end up attending 10 webinars over the fall and spring session, you can apply for 1 full CEU. So we'll extend that over for both the 0.5 and the 1 full CEUs. You can do 5 or 10 of either fall or spring. For those who've attended all 5 for this spring, I will be going ahead and documenting those this week and getting those sent to you individually. So I'll send those to the email address that you have on file if you've attended all 5 and you have the opportunity already to apply for 0.5 CEU. So I'll send that to you individually, and then we'll send it on to Mississippi College so that we can make sure you're getting your credit for that. So if you have any questions about that, you can just email me directly, but look forward to hearing from me this week on that. Other than these spring webinars, we wanted to make you aware of some other virtual training opportunities that will be coming up in the spring for Get to College. We will be having a virtual FAFSA training in January in the afternoon hours from 1 to 3:30. And that is right now our last planned virtual FAFSA training for the semester. So if you need to get that FAFSA training done, hop in on that January training, we'd love to have you. And then we will have another college access educator training on January 19th. That's a great 1.5 hour training. And that's also going to be in the afternoon hours from 3 to 4:30. And again, all of those are listed on our website. Also, if you yourself are a CCR teacher, or you know colleagues who are CCR teachers, Kirsten will continue her virtual CCR teacher chats from 3:30 to 4:15 in January, February, and March. And those have been a great time for teachers to get together and just discuss some of the highs and lows and the challenges of teaching CCR classes. So those have been great for us. And that's all we have for today. We thank you for joining us this fall. We look forward to the spring. I can't believe it's about to be 2022, but we will see you all in late January of 2022 for our next Topic Tuesday session. So happy holidays to everybody, and we look forward to seeing you all in 2022.